Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the JARC, the Novice Racer Porsche 911 Championship, round 6 at the circuit Zolder. It is the final round, which can only mean one thing. The commentators have got to do maths. What could go wrong? Well, we've got a physics studier in the booth with me today. I'm JP. I'm going to be joined in the booth, as always, by Olaf Wapsenkamp, who's going to come along for this ride and try and figure out these drop scores and everything else. We've been trying to do it in the green room for the last 20 minutes, and it ain't really worked out so far. But let's bring you up to date with the scores on the doors at this moment in time, okay? We do have the scores on there. It is a very, very complicated process. At the moment, Calvin Leidecker is out in front with 3-4-4, but currently is not here. So with his drop score taken away as a 0, it'll be on 420, which means Ashton needs 85 points from today to take the win in the championship. Then you got Andy Pratt on 296, Tommy Patero in behind that. In the Pro-Ams, George Metakos, Thomas Weston and Nick Green. We cannot work this out. We've been trying to work this out completely. We're on there somewhere. Metakos just needs to beat the other two, and if he beats the other two, I think he's done. Kayser Collier in the AMS should wrap up the win ahead of Parker Enquist and Roman Kopostrinski. If he does that, no problem for Kaysen. He will take the championship as well. Right, along on that one, after trying to figure out all of these wonderful scores here, let's bring Olaf into the booth. Olaf, welcome in, bud.
Thank you. I have done some math, and it is not mathing. I can tell you, the physics doesn't help really. The point that you made real quick about the drivers who can and cannot win or are in the championship and not. I think the pros is the one that's actually the most important because, like you said, Ashton needs to score those 85 points to get up to where Leidecker's is, so 86 points preferably for him to get the win. Then in the Pro-Ams, stuff gets messy. I've tried to figure it out, and I think I've sort of figured it out. The net points difference, currently in first, Thomas Weston with 326. Then in second place, Nick Green with 303. And then George Metakos with 290. So Metakos needs to outscore Weston by 36 points and Green by 13 points. Or preferably 37 and 14. So that's for them. In the AMS, and of course Nick Green needs to outscore Weston by 14 points as well. And then you have the AMS, where it looks like Collier is in first. But if you go towards the points that have already been scored, then Parker Enquist has 298 with Collier at 274. So Enquist still has a run for it. And that's what we're looking at right now. I think we can only crown the pro champion because that's the only the only math that we have done that actually fits, and the rest I will try to figure out as we go.
Right, there you go. We've got Reese Bartlett in chat. He's got no power. Apparently, he's got no electric. Poor old Reese, and he's sat there, as he said, with his cold coffee and his phone. So welcome in, Reese. Hope you're well, buddy. You know what I mean? It does suck, dude. You know, at the end of the day on that one. One of the things we have been looking at while practice has been running, Circuit Zolder, very interesting course indeed. Fine chicane been causing a problem to the point where we had 3 people spin at exactly the same point. Sausage Curb's going to be a problem here, I feel.
I mean, not a problem actually for some drivers. We've seen Ashton in the practice session run over it quite heavily and be able to just slam that car over the lines, and it wasn't a problem at all. But like you said, some drivers may be having a little bit of issue with it. But if I'm a driver and I know Zolder's coming up, I'm practicing that chicane like my life depends on it. So these drivers that are going to do the practice are going to do well in the race. But if they don't, then you're going to see those spins happening. And for me, I don't think it will be a problem for most of these drivers to actually get through there. And I think it's only going to help them that other drivers might just spin out a little bit.
Absolutely, I do agree with you. I think it's going to be interesting, but let's bring you up the grid for race number 1. Jack Ashton on pole, George Metacost up there in second. Go, George. Andy Pratt in third and Jan Janchik in fourth. Then we've got Thomas Weston, Nicholas Green, Josh Taylor, and then Kaysen Collier leading the AMS. Yente Bart in ninth place. We've got Eric Orchard in 10th, Hayden Britton 11th, and Garrett Kinney down in 12th. Moving on, Timmy Wybrow down in 13th, Parker Enquist, Martin Hayward, and Roman Kopostrinski at the back end of the grid. Let's, well, I suppose in a weird way, we need to discuss what's going to happen. What we think is going to happen here. Is it going to be dramatic, or are we going to have clean racing, do we think?
Well, I think it's Zolder. We have a sparse grid, 16 cars, a little bit different than some of the other races where we've had 20 plus cars. So it's going to be a little bit more spread out. But I do think the parts where we have to look at are those championship fights. Ashton and Pratt are currently not separated by a lot of points. Pratt actually has 352, which means that if Pratt outscores Ashton, he might just get the championship. So that is still going. Medicals has Weston and Green 2 rows behind him, which is mega scary, as we have a full formation lap. I was already thinking we're not having standing starts, are we? So Medicals has Pratt behind him, then Jančík behind him, and then it's Weston and Green, the 2 men that also want that championship. So those are going to be fighting as well. The top 5 or the top 6 all has championship contenders, except for Jančík, who is just in there in the middle, just caught within all of these drivers that are all fighting for a championship today.
There you go. I hope you can work this out at home, ladies and gentlemen. If anybody wants to try and do the maths, because our maths sometimes don't math, let me know. And yeah, we'll send you out a scoring system. 45 for the win in race number 1, then 43, 41, 40, 39, then down in increments in 1. It's not 45 for the win in each class. It is 45 for the win for the leader, and then it goes down after that. Okay, so it's not a set scoring system for pros and pro-ams. It's a progressive system all the way through on that one. Reese bringing the positivity with Nick Green. My money is on Nick to spin at some point. And that's not very nice. Anyway, you might be right, but it ain't very nice. So let's see what happens here, as we are going to have a full pace lap, rolling start as per normal. I still think this chicane is going to cause some problems for some of these drivers, especially on lap 1 with cold tyres.
I think that is going to be the issue. The cold tires are more the issue than the chicane. And if the chicane is going to be a problem, it's going to be a problem all throughout race 1 and then also race 2. But this is not the only part, because where they're coming up now is another 3-turner chicane onto another right-hander. This one has got less of a curb strike in the middle, I should say, but it's still pretty hefty at some point. You saw the cars in the right-hand, the first right-hander. It's got a massive dip in the middle, and if you place the car just a tiny bit wrong, you're just going to get slingshotted towards the outside and leave the track.
Absolutely. And as we say, in practice, we saw 3 do that at the same time, which was quite interesting here as well. So stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. Get your drinks, get your popcorn. We've got a couple of corners left of this race circuit to go. So that's going to be a interesting race, I think, race 1. The invert for race number 2, Olaf. What could happen there? Because we're going to have probably Ashton towards the back end.
What can happen? I think I can only answer that with anything. Anything can happen in race 2. We've seen that plenty of times. Drivers like Mark Calver winning race 1, starting from the back of the grid, and then winning race 2 by a landslide, as someone outside my window was very mad, apparently, and wanted to slam the horn. I think anything can happen. We can have Ashton from the back of the grid do that, but also Ashton might just get out in race 1. Who knows? Anything can happen in race 1 and 2, because Pratt wants the points. Pratt wants to do this, and it's up to these guys. I can't say anything for any predictions. I won't dare.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Green flag is dropped. Basically, we are racing once more here for the final round of the JARC. Nick Green, Porsche Championship. Ashton leads the way into turn number 1. Pratt's got to put him under pressure. He knows this already. Andy Pratt up 1 place. George Metacost is down. There's a spinner in the background already. That's Joshy Taylor. Through turn number 1 here. Now Ashton leads up through 2 and 3. He's going to have to run into 4 here, but how's it going to work coming into the chicane? There's going to be tight in behind. Metacost has dropped down behind Pratt at the moment. And guess who's right behind him? Thomas Weston. There is championship connotations going on already on race number 1. Hayden Britton is being led here in the AMS. He's got Casey Collier tucked in behind. First time through the chicane. How's this going to work? Is everybody going to get through cleanly here? No, Green's in the wall. Green's in the wall already. Reese Bartlett, you are correct. Nick Green, unfortunately, has gone into the wall on lap number 1, and I'm probably guessing here, Olaf, it could be that curb.
It might very well be. If it's contact, I'm going to be very mad. That's a very clean line on the inside. Going to be grabbing the curb on the right-hand side. It is contact. It's not even the curb. It is contact going side by side over the chicane. And that's Nick Green in the wall from a little tap to the side. But that begs the question, how much space do you leave in the chicane knowing how rough that chicane is and sending someone else over it?
Yeah, I don't know if he gave... I don't know if Nick gave enough room there. I'd be very surprised on that one. I don't think he did. I think it's he just closed the door a little bit here. But Ashton starts leading the way. We've got 18 and a half minutes to go. Ashton tucks him, Pratt in behind him. This is the two that need this battle. Medicos, Western. That's the next Pro-Am fight in behind it. Kaysen Collier's got to get it. He's ahead of, at the moment, he's ahead of Western. Oh, no, he's not ahead of Western. Who's he got to be ahead of? Oh, God. Got all confused already. Parker Enquist here as well, and Enquist is all the way down the back end of the field. So at the moment, Kaysen's pretty much got this wrapped up on race number 1. Let's see how this one pans out for the rest of this race here. But Ashton out in front, Pratt tucked in behind him, Metakos in behind that. Metakos is doing well here. He just needs to kind of stay with these two, and I think he should be able to pull away from Western.
Yeah, the problem here is that Western has... well, no, he doesn't actually anymore. Where did he go? We were looking at... oh, that was, of course, Nick Green that he was fighting with, and Nick's all the way down. Weston and Green got through on Janchik pretty early on, which was very nice. Pratt got through on Medicals, which made it just a clean fight between Ashton and Pratt. That's what we're looking at right now. The second car now here, the number 10, that's Andy Pratt, trying to make his way through and follow through on Ashton. Right behind him, Medicals is within that second, so he should be able to pick up a little bit of a slipstream on these two front runners. And then there's Weston, who has his sights set. At the moment, it's Weston with the most amount of points. So if it stays like this, it's going to be very, very tight for race number 2, because the points difference, I think, is either 1 or 2 points for third and fourth. And Medicals needs every single point that he can get.
Yeah, it's 45, 43, 41, 40, and then down in inclinations of 1. Yeah, and Janchik having a good old scrap at the moment. That's Hayden Britton in front of him. They've swapped places a couple of times here. Great fighting going on from these guys. Green's into pit lane now, after obviously his earlier spin into the wall. But Janchik tucked up behind Hayden Britton. Currently at the moment, this is not a class fight. This is Pro-Ams and Ams fighting it out. Britton leading the way in the Ams with Kaysen Collier tucked in behind there. Roman Koposturinsky and Garrett Kiddie down in 10th at the moment. On board with Janchik we go into this left-hander, into Klein. There's the chicane, there's the curb. We saw it firsthand there, Olaf. That car lifted up in the air.
Yeah, that's not the first airborne car that we're going to see. This was only the left-hand side, and for the right-hand side corner, you get the right-hand side in the air. But I bet at some point we're going to see one car with all 4 wheels off the track at some point, because that chicane is deadly.
Do 100% agree with you in there. Ashton out in front by about 8 tenths. Well, it's gone down to 7 at the moment. It's settling down in the middle. Oh, big send by Janchik. You're not getting that stop, son. Too much. And unfortunately for Janchik, he loses a place to Kaysen Collier, which Hayden Britton did not need, as these guys continue to fight. Koposturinsky in the background with Janchik going into Jackie Itbok now as well. The final chicane on this race circuit, and Koposturinsky goes through. Janchik down another position. Once more, there's a little bit settling down towards the back end. It's getting a little bit spicy in the middle with Jente Burt. He is chasing down Thomas Weston at the moment. There is Weston in his traditional green or olive and black machine, I suppose, with Jente Burt tucked in right behind him. Through turn 2 and 3 they go. It's going to be another run here, but Janchik sent it deep there. Couldn't get that car stopped.
Yeah, the thing, what we need to mention most here is the fact that Weston now is Barrett right behind him. Weston's still in 4th with Medicals in 3rd. The gap has increased to over 3 seconds. So Weston now is in more of a fight of losing 5th place than he is as gaining 3rd place from Medicals. And that is going to put Medicals in a very, very, very good position here for the championship win.
Yeah, absolutely. As I say, we will try and do maths, but yeah, don't rely on us. Janchik there. Needs to get up at the field if he can. He's sitting down in 9th place at the moment. Joshy Taylor, spin on lap number 1, needs to clear. He's tucked in behind Martin Hayward. This is what he did on the opening lap, going into the very first corner. Was there, well, they are 3 wide practically. Oh, no, it was all on his own. But Taylor, unfortunately, round he goes. He has to sit back and go all the way to the back end of the field. But this is going to be an interesting one here now, because this is going to put Green's going to go up to the front if he stays where he is for race number 2. Enquist is going to move towards the front as well. Obviously, Britton and Collier are going to be stuck in the middle of the track. Are we going to really see this championship fight in the AMS go down to this race, or do we think Kaysen could wrap it up here?
It's going to be difficult because Enquist is also part of the problem here because he currently has more points than what Case and Collier has. So with that drop round included, of course, Collier is at 274 and Enquist at 248, but he actually has 298 points. So he... it's going to be very, very rough for these drivers. Enquist is still in it. I think he is, because in race number 2, if it finishes like this, he's going to start in second place. Green's going to be starting in first.
Janchik. See, that's how you go through the chicane there.
That is very nicely done. That's a good move from Janchik, making it through on the chicane. I think that's like the first overtake I've seen in the chicane, and I think we have to look at Ashton because he's got a yellow flag.
He's got to slow down. Yeah.
That's Pratt has got a beautiful opportunity, a little bit of a slide there on exit, but has to slot in behind because he just does not have the pace. Ashton played that very well, get the slowdown done in the hairpin there.
I think Pratt should have put him under more pressure there going into the chicane.
Yes, 100%.
I think when he pulled out to have a look, he should have sent it on him and seeing what he was going to do here, because I think if you give Jack any time at all, he's going to be away with it here as well. We've got Go Team Collier in YouTube chat there. Well, hopefully your man will come out on top. The maths are going to be interesting. Let's just put it that way as these two continue to fight. Jente Burt right up behind Weston now as well. He's closed in right behind him going in through turn number 2 into the loop of 3. Then before they go down into 4, Burt's closed up at Weston. Weston can't afford to lose this position.
Yeah, Weston here in that fight with Medicals and Green. Needs all the points he can get because Green will be starting on pole position from the looks of it. And that's going to be the tough fight. But we've seen, I think, week after week, race after race, that even if you start all the way back, if you have the pace, you can make it through. You can go onto the front of the grid. Ashton's done it once, I believe, going from last place to, I think, the top 3 at least. We've seen Mark Calver last time around do the exact same, win once, go to the back of the grid, and win twice. So it is all possible.
Absolutely. I think Calver was up like 8 positions by the end of the first lap or something ludicrous around that one. You see Casey Collier in the background battling away with Britain, but having a battle with Weston. Weston, as I say, needs to hold on to this one. Can't argue the kid has talent. He has, I can't remember how old he is, but I could guarantee he's going to be a star of the future if he stays in this esports scene here for Casey Collier, doing a great job at this moment in time in that AMS, only being beaten by Hayden Britton, who is just up the road. Janchik Kopostarinsky still having a battle. Garrett Kinney in pit lane, and he's jumped back into pit lane as well. Oh, okay, maybe it was him and Eric Orchin. Or did Orchin do this outside? Well, no, they are close together. Does not look good. I think this is going to be a send from Orchin and Kinney. Oh, didn't even send him. Oh, he did send him, but he sent him off into the underworld there, Olaf. That was just a missed breaking point from Eric Orchin.
I think we can call these extra external brakes. That's what I used to call the drivers that are on my outside when I want to, take the turn a little bit quicker than I should have. Rubbing is racing, but not when it's front to back. It's that was very obviously a missed braking point from Eric Orchin, who is now gaining as Janchik might be in trouble.
Yeah, he's just lost. Oh, you know what this is.
No, that's not even the chicane.
Their position, it's through turn 4 on the run up to the chicane. Oh. Back heading on the grass, and unfortunately for Jan Janchik, he's facing the other way. He's just got to sit and wait. Does manage to spin it round, but he's all the way down in 11th place overall. Meatball for Garrett Kinney, no surprise. Slow down for Janchik. You literally just saw that live there as he went over the curb, took too much of it here once again. Burt still chasing down Weston. He's a second back at the minute. Britain closing in on him is half a second back. So it's going to get tight in that 5th, 6th, 7th, 5th, 6th, 7th spot with Burt, Britain and Collier. Let's see how this one goes with 9 minutes remaining here. Once again, we will try and do the complicated maths process after race number 1, but you will have to just wait for the official results. I probably just on that one because commentators doing maths while commentating doesn't always work out, does it?
I mean, I've tried, and sometimes it works. It's just that this is a 2-race event, so after race 1, the standings will be different than what we see now. I mean, we can update them, we can try, but that means we'll mess up the spreadsheet. I could have made a second spreadsheet. I probably should do that for the next time, right? Get a second spreadsheet just for myself to do all the math miles before the race. But the point is that these are 2 races, and we will need, and we know that Ashton needs those 85 points, which means he needs to score 40 points, which means he needs a, what is that, 4th place? 3rd place. He needs to score 3rd place at least for race number 2 if he does eventually win this race. Then he'll get the championship in his pocket. For the rest, it's guesswork at the moment. I'm sticking my finger up in the air, trying to see where the wind is coming from, and then tell you that currently Medicals is doing a very good job of getting the championship, and Weston is still holding on, but very barely.
Yeah, absolutely. My boy Kinney with a black flag leaving the pits. Bloody rookie, he said it there as well. Reece, stop giving him grief with it. At least he's out on the track, son. He's got electric. You don't. So at the moment, he's winning. So there we go. Collier now trying to close in on Britain. Janchik is there, isn't he? Taylor with Orchin. Janchik's in the back about 5 seconds. So Taylor's having to go with Orchin at the moment. Orchin's already sent poor old Garrett Kinney off into the underworld, going into the right-hander at turn number 4, I think it was. So he's got to be a little bit careful here, Eric Orchin. Joshy Taylor got the pace, but he's had a very roller coaster year. Well, very roller coaster season, hasn't he? 1 minute he's up there, then he's down the back. He's kind of a, I don't know, bit of a maverick for me.
Yeah, he's done 4 races. Currently, what's that amount of points? He's got 212 amount of points. Whoa, that's a car side. Well, that's Kopistrinsky, yeah. Mistake.
Yeah.
Average finishing position for Taylor looks to be position 20, whereas he starts in 11th. So it doesn't look very good.
There we go. Saw all 4 wheels off the floor. Oh, Roman, stop, son, stop. Poor old Kopistrinsky now down into 10th place behind Taylor. Britain still there, still got Collier tucked in right behind him. As they're going down with 6 minutes remaining. 1:28, 28 lap times at the moment as well. So it's going to be about another 4 laps maybe of this circuit here. This circuit's always very tricky. It's a very Marmite-based circuit in Zolder.
Well, I think what Zolder is kind of a test of skill in multiple different directions. You have tracks like Silverstone, where you have the left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right sections that go in. Suzuka similarly, that have like, you got to be very careful on throttle and on your brakes and how you lift, and the steering at that point. You got to get your turn-in points right, but overall it's pretty much throttle brake controlled as to where you're gonna go. Then you have Spa, for example, with Eau Rouge, where Eau Rouge is just completely flat out in most series, and you have to make your turn-in points work for a lot of these corners to make it through. Zolder, I believe, has got quite a few points where you have this hairpin, and then you have the chicane, of course, that we talked about, with very high curbs that can really offset you. And I think the only thing in terms of what I would call track annoyance that exists is Bathurst. I genuinely think that the downhill of Bathurst is just a tiny bit more annoying than the chicanes in Zolder.
I've got to agree with you. Bathurst, whenever I do drive, and it's not very often, it's praying at the top of the mountain and saying thank you when you get down to the bottom. Hayden Britton there just played an absolute blinder. I've got to be honest, if anybody didn't notice, Britain had a slowdown from Villeneuve chicane, and he ran it all the way down to the final chicane at Jackie Ickbot and got it off down at Jackie Ickbot. He basically just slowed down a little bit more and basically got the chicane off. He didn't lose any time to Hayden Britain, and he didn't lose any time to Casey Collier, but he played an absolute blinder with that slowdown there to make sure he stayed in contact with Jente Burt in front and stay ahead of Casey Collier. So great driving there for Hayden Britton in regards to a slowdown. I know most people turn around and say you've got to take the slowdown offline and make sure you slow down straight away. Well, you don't, and Hayden Britton's just proved that you can run a slowdown until you get to a slow part of the circuit. Then you can slow it down and take the slowdown off. So I've got to be honest, great driving from Hayden Britton. Roman Komastrinsky was tucked up behind Jančić, but has just unfortunately taken Clone Chicane completely wrong and has lost a lot of time behind that. Timmy Wybrow, who's another man that's had a very up and down season, with Martin Hayward chasing him as they're on the run down into Villeneuve as well. There's a couple of people who are going to be interested to see how they respond to this, because there's a couple of people that have had very roller coaster seasons in this car. Now, obviously, I haven't necessarily seen an announcement for next season. I know Jack's starting the real life racing circuit, so I'm not quite sure if that's actually going to take precedent as Hayward just got that completely wrong. That's going to allow Wybrow to run up alongside him. Is he going to get him into going into the final chicane? They're going to try too wide. Nope. Wybrow backs out and Hayward goes through. There's a lot of people who's going to take from this season and go, I might have some practice to go, as Hayward and Wybrow come out side by side. I think Wybrow has got him. Hayward's going to be running down into turn one. Hayward on the right in that Golf livery machine. Wybrow in that livery that does make your eyes go funny, and he takes a position. But they are going to have to look back at this season, Olaf, especially when they come back, and if they do it again with the same car. I know generally they change the car, but if they do it again, surely they got to look back at the season and go, right, I need to do this because they didn't do enough of it last season.
Yeah, there's a few points that I've noticed throughout this season, and that is that some of these drivers, like we saw in the practice and in the qualifying, the drivers just making mega mistakes in the chicane here, and some of those things that I feel like could be avoided with the right amount of practice. But also, we've seen this in, I can't remember which track it was. It might have been Barcelona, it might have been Hockenheim, where we just see Hockenheim for sure, where we see just crashes on the straight.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I think it was going down into Spitzker, wasn't it? I saw most of that. Collier, Collier now. He's got Britton chasing him. This is the thing for Hayden Britton now. He's got to take control of this situation. He needs to put Collier where he wants him. He cannot, in any shape or form, allow Collier to dictate where he's going to be. Britton's got to come out of corners and make that move straight away. If you're going to defend the outside, you've got to go straight over to the right-hand side, especially through here. If he's going to defend the inside, he's got to go straight away. He needs to put Collier where he wants him. He's got to be proactive. He can't be reactive with the moves that he makes.
Well, I like to disagree, actually. I think giving your opponent the thought that let's just say in this point you are Hayden Britton. You're currently sat in 6th place. Collier is chasing your ass. You gotta move it, right? You gotta punch it. You gotta go absolutely crazy. What you can do, like you said, you gotta out of a corner instantly go towards the side and let your competitor know what you're going to do. I think it's nice that when Collier is too far back, you can give him the chance. Like, oh, he's gonna keep the inside open. Nice. That means I've got a plan. I'm going to do this and this and this. Then you're Britton. Then you're moving over to the side halfway through or right before you actually need to make the decision, as long as Collier isn't, side by side, of course. That just throws off your entire mental from Collier's perspective. You have a plan because you see the door open. You want to look, and then the door gets closed. You have to react. You have to go off the line that you were preparing for, and your entire mindset has to be from, I'm going to take the inside here, to, oh shoot, I need to move over to the side and I can't do what I did before. I have to make a new plan. Whereas if you're Britton, you have had this all in your mind. I know I'm going to stick here on the outside and then go to the inside later, so I'm going to prepare for the inside. You're just mentally a bit more prepared, and if you do that lap after lap after lap every single corner, I think Collier is just going to be mentally worn out.
Okay. Let's see how that one pans out. See if that philosophy works. Jančić and Ashton have both got a slowdown. Ashton can get his off pretty much straight away. Jente Burt has just copped himself a slowdown, and unfortunately for Jente, he cannot get it off straight away. He's going to have to slow it down a little bit at this moment in time. This is the battle we're looking at the moment. Ashton's gone over the line. It's going to be the final lap. Blimey, that went quick. Here as well, Ashton's going to take the win in the pros. Andy Pratt's going to tuck in behind him. Then it's going to be George Medicost in the Pro-Ams is going to take that victory. with Thomas Weston sitting in second place as he comes over the line. At the moment, Hayden Britton is still leading Kaysen Collier. I don't think Kaysen's going to get him on the run down to the line. Britton's going to wrap up the win here. Collier's going to be in second with Eric Orchin in third. I don't know where that final lap come from there, Olaf. It went very, very quickly indeed.
I didn't even notice it. That's always what happens here, right? With these cars and these drivers, they always make some move somewhere in the final 5 minutes. You forget to keep the time in track, and all of a sudden it's the checkered flag.
Yes, well, I believe that may have had something to do with when they crossed the line and how close that was going to be. Because obviously, as we know, when they cross the line within a couple of seconds, if Ashton slowed down, then it would have been the final lap, and even then we wouldn't have even known it. But we'll wait for Timmy Wybrow to come over the line. Great job from him. You can see Martin Hayward having a right little proper ding-dong further back, but he does stay ahead of Parker Enquist there. I'm not quite sure where Parker's going. I'm probably guessing. So there we go. Let's bring you up the results for race number 1. Before we go into the warm-up. Ashton taking the win in the pros. There's only 2, him and Andy Pratt, and he did beat Pratt this time around. George Metakos winning some pro-ams with Thomas Weston and Jente Burt. That's your 1, 2, 3. Hayden Britton did come through and stay ahead of Kaysen Collier. Collier in second. Joshie Taylor separates him away from Eric Orchin, who wraps up third in the AMs. Then Roman Kopostarinsky, Timmy Wybrow, Martin Hayward, Parker Enquist, Jan Janchik, Gary Kinney, and Nick Green. That's going to be the grid for race number 2. Just flip it completely on its head, and you will find that a Green Kinney will be on the front row, then Janchik, Enquist, Hayward, and so on and so forth. I'm sure you don't need me to tell you all the way through on that one. Okay, Ashton, part 1 done for him going into race 2.
Yeah, he's currently sat in the last place for race number 2. 45 points on the board, very, very nice. He needs 41 more, so he needs that 3rd place or 2nd and 1st again. He's going to be starting last. This is going to be a monumental task for the man, but I think he can do it. He has shown us before that he can, and he should be able to get something done at least. It's the second part that gets me the most. It's the pro-ams. It is Nick Green currently in 1st, with Weston and Metakos way further back. That is going to be the scary part, especially for Metakos and Weston, because they are not separated by a whole bunch of points.
Okay, just to let you know, Casey Collier in YouTube chat. I'm not quite sure if Casey, what relation she is to Kaysen. Collier is 14 years old. He won't be mentally worn out.
That is a very strong point, I should say. The endless enthusiasm of kids sometimes just gives you the better part of the racing. That is a very fair point. Yeah, that's something that I haven't considered yet. That's just how it be sometimes. I really do hope that Collier's got a grand old time here in the car, and I think these cars are fun to drive as well. Can be frustrating at times, just like sitting behind your opponent for a very long time, but maybe he's got enthusiasm, he's got the energy, and he'll just hold on to that fight, and maybe he's the one to wear out Britain. Who knows?
Maybe. Well, maybe he's just driven very smartly. He knows he needs to just stay ahead of Enquist if he can, and didn't really worry too much as we saw Enquist go round a little bit earlier on. I was hoping, I don't know if Jack's going to get time, but maybe might have had time to update the score system going into race number 1, but it doesn't look like he's going to.
No, I think it's still the same.
Yeah, I think it's still the same with 13 seconds to go on that one. Hope everybody in the world at the moment is having a great Sunday. We've actually got sun in the UK at this moment in time. We've had it for the last 4 days. It's very, very impressive indeed. As Enquist, I'm not really sure what he's up to here, but I think he's having.
That's the NASCAR maneuver.
Yeah, that's the Chastain move. That is.
Yeah, exactly.
Look at this. Go Parker Enquist. I don't know what you're trying to do, but whatever you're doing, you're having fun in the process. Good job there as well. We'll be able to bring you up the grid for race number 2. As I say, Nick Green will be on pole. Garrett Kinney alongside him, and Jan Janchik there. Parker Enquist ahead of Martin Hayward, Timmy Wybrow, Roman Kopostarinsky, and Eric Orchin, with Joshie Taylor and Kaysen Collier a little bit further back. Hayden Britton down in 11th, and Jente Burt down in 12th place. Moving on, Thomas Weston, George Metakos, Andy Pratt, Jack Ashton. This is going to be a very, very interesting race number 2. So let's see how it goes in there as well. Reese, he's got his power back on apparently. So there we go. I have 6 clocks to remember how to reset. Why have you got 6, dude? Most people just spin the button on the back and it resets the time. Kaysen is one of the most mentally tough kids I've ever known. Oh, so that really does scupper what you said, Olaf, in regards to that one as well from the coach. Do you coach Kaysen, or is that just your name?
I will never ever speak about mentality of some drivers ever again. I have learned my lesson.
Especially when he's 14, it's probably got more, more energy
exactly,
than me and you put together.
I think when we're in the cars, I think I can say for both of us that if that situation would arise, we would both be like, "Damn it, again? No, not again! Nah, what's he doing?" If someone's switching up tactics every single time. I have done in the meantime a little bit of counting because I can't call it math because I'm not that good at that. It's just like pure old counting because it's just numbers. We're still on Ashton with those 41 points that he needs, so he needs to get into the top 10. And for the Pro-Ams, I have been working under the assumption that we were getting in the pros, we have Leideckers who isn't there, who will get this round as a drop round and will be transferred to those total points from the calculated points because this will be the drop round and he'll just get a whole bunch of points. For Weston, Green, and Medicals, that is just not the case. Medicals already has his drop round as a 0. Green and Weston have their drop rounds as something more than 0, which means that the calculated points that we're seeing is actually their real points that we're going to be seeing if they score more than their lowest scored already. But point being, Weston is trailing Medicals still, because Medicals just finished a few positions ahead, I believe, on this first event, which means that Medicals does have currently the lead in the Pro-Ams and just needs to stay ahead of Weston to secure it. And the same goes for Case and Collier, Parker, Enquist, and Kopiskrinsky. Kopiskrinsky is the third of these. Parker, Enquist in the middle, and Case and Collier are pretty far ahead. So I think he's just gonna take it.
Okay, so there we go. We've got chat about Kaysen going on a YouTube chat. Isn't Kaysen a recent real life karting champion? I can't answer that one. So unfortunately, that is down to the coach to deal with that one. Strength and conditioning coach. Oh, you're his strength and conditioning coach. What, for esports? I'm going to presume he must drive in real life, right? Because, why else need a strength and conditioning coach for esports? I don't really know. 7 hours ago, Kaysen finished P10 at the 4 hours of the Nürburgring. Okay, so China Scholar. There's a lot of love for Kaysen in YouTube chat at this moment. Very good to see.
And coming up for the start of the second race, Nick Green out in first. And that's going to be a fight to remember for the Pro-Ams. He currently he is trailing a bit more now because of the finishing order of the first race. But he should be able to still fight for this, for the second place at the very least, as long as Weston doesn't really get too many points here today. That would be very, very unfortunate. But it does look like there is still a very, very good fight going on.
Okay, well, let's see if Nick Green can make it round past lap number 1 to get ahead here. He does go very, very early. Kinney sitting in second, Jančić in third. At the moment, he's going to try and go up the inside of Parker Enquist, and he does make it through Jančić. Parker in 4th place, Jančić ahead at this moment in time. On the inside, Timmy Wybrow just losing positions at this moment in time. He's lost one to Britton, lost one to Taylor. Taylor manages to make it through the whole first corner without any dramas for him. Ashton has cleared Jente Burt. He's moving ahead now. He's got Kaysen Collier in front of him. Medicos still at the back. Martin Hayward, I believe, is going to come out of pit lane if he did even start at all here. But we're going to give it a lap to get settled down. Andy Pratt trying to stay ahead of Ashton. He's trying to make positions as he goes, but this is where the problem lies, isn't it? You've got Weston very quick in front of him as well. Pratt's got his work cut out.
No, Pratt's not the only one. Ashton is the one that needs to get that podium. Pratt is practically out of the championship contention. If we're looking at the points here, it is just Ashton that has this race ahead of him. And like you said, Collier is quick, Pratt's quick, Weston all quick. Nick Green isn't slow either. Like, he's all the way in first. He's going to keep that for now, as Kinney apparently had a little telemetry issue. As Ashton needs very quick overtakes now before the rest of the grid goes too far out of his hands.
Yeah, Pratt, defend. Oh, Ashton nearly sent him there as well. Pratt's got a little bit excited on the throttle. You see the car a little bit twitchy. Pratt is driving above and beyond at the moment in time. Jente Burt has just got in front of Ashton currently as well. That's put Ashton down a position. Garrett Kinney's having internet issues severely here. He's going up and down like an absolute yo-yo. Pratt's clear wide barrel. Oh, Burt spinning in front of Ashton. Managed to hold on. That put Kaysen onto the grass. Kaysen reacted well there to stay out of the rear end of Ashton, but Collier at the moment still down in 11th, 5th in class at the moment. He's got to get up here with Parker Enquist, but I think, to be honest, Kaysen's so far ahead. Can he even lose the championship at the end of race 2?
No, I don't think he can. This is in terms of points, absolutely crazy for Kaysen Collier. He's been absolutely magnificent so far, and he will continue to. I think get the championship done here in this race, as long as he doesn't DNF, of course. That means probably won't get those points, but yeah, he currently is Parker Enquist and Kopistrinsky are the guys that he needs to beat. He's only about 8 points behind him. 8 points difference is not going to hurt him.
Absolutely right. There's Nick Green, and he's now got Jančík tucked in right behind him. Kaysen has won the kart championship last 2 years in a row. Be interested to know where Kaysen's next step will be on the ladder of motorsport. Where will he be heading next, or is he staying in karting next season? Weston is under a whole heap of pressure with Pratt, Britt and Taylor all in and around him. Kopistrinsky in there as well. Ashton's lost time, obviously, after Jente Burt spinning on him. Kaysen's running side by side with Medicos, I believe, in behind him. There goes Pratt again, a big send on the inside of Thomas Weston. Manages to demand the room. Weston gives it to him out of pure niceties, but Weston then chops his nose off, leaves the inside open into turn 2 again. Pratt loses a little bit of time. That tighter line killed him a little bit there, Olaf. He's now going to have to go and do some climbing back up again.
Yeah, this is a very, very good fighting here in the middle of the pack, with Ashton currently in 9th. Not where he wants to be. He needs to be a little bit further up ahead, but he has Brandt, he has Weston, he has Britt, he has Taylor. All these fast drivers up in front. And Jančík catching up to Nick now, who is in trouble in P1.
Yeah, Nick's under a lot of pressure here. It's going to be Nick Green's moment. Can he hang on? Will he crack under pressure? Let's see what he does. Is Nick a tough nut, or is he a soft, squidgy peanut butter? Well, we're going to find out here, ladies and gentlemen, as they're on their rundown into the right-hander at Zolder. Oh, big send from Jančík. Can you get it stopped? No. He's just held them both up. Green now switched back underneath him. Taylor's got to slow down in the mix as well. He's lost a place to Ashton. There's been drama for Weston. There's been drama for Collier as well. Oh, it's going to be into Villeneuve. What did Kaysen Collier do? Oh, hit the bump. Oh, he had to check up from the car in front. No major dramas there for him. I wonder if Weston, what has he done? He's alongside Taylor going down into the same chicane here. As Weston goes in, Pratt goes on the inside. Andy Pratt helped him round on that one, Olaf.
These are classics. I mean, Kaysen Collier had a very good reaction time. I did say we're going to see a car flying and didn't expect it to be in that chicane, but he went all the way up and stopped it purely in time. That was nice. Jančík, at the hairpin, we've seen this plenty of times, now from Jančík and now from Andy Pratt as well. Absolutely outbraking themselves going into that turn. Jančík's done this in race 1 as well, and I think maybe twice, maybe 3 times. Now that he's gone into that chicane way too hot and just could not stop the car, going off and touching the gravel a little bit, slowing him and his competition down. Maybe that's the goal, but he now is over 2 seconds, well, almost 2 seconds away from Nick Green, so that definitely did not help his chances for the win.
Timmy Wybrow's got a penalty. I wonder if that's for incident points already, as we see Hayden Britton there with Kopistrinsky. And Britain's just gone through. They've got Pratt and Ashton coming at him here. Wybrow, unfortunately, will have to go into pit lane. Let's keep an eye on the front 2 as well. Down into the left, right here at Jackie Hickbot. Then Pratt and Ashton are coming through as well. Britton, Kopostrinski, Pratt, Ashton, 1.7 seconds to Taylor. How is Hayden Britton going to go here? He held off to Casey Collier in race number 1. He's now got Kopostrinski climbing all over him, and he's got the pros of Pratt and Ashton coming through. Timmy Wybrow is going to go into pit lane. That's going to allow Weston to take the lead of that pack with Collier, Medicos, Burt and Enquist all in the fight here. Is this championship done now? Do we think this is going to be a Ashton in the pros, Collier in the AMs? Where are we at with the pro-AMs?
Okay, so like you said, the AMs are for Case and Collier 100% set. The pro-AMs, I think Medicos will have this at the end of it. He's only got 2 points down on what Weston is doing right now. Medicos should have that set. Then for the pros, Ashton's currently in 6th. He's right behind Pratt, who's right behind Kopostrinski, but then it's 1.5 seconds to Hayden Britton, who's right up the road there. And Ashton needs to make all of those time up and gain the overtakes before he gets that championship win in 3rd place. He might be able to take it in 4th, but that is up to how the tiebreakers are decided. And I think Ashton is the one to to decide that, which I don't think is going to be fair. And there's the sin from Pratt. He can stop it in time, though. That's beautifully done from Andy Pratt. That's how you do it.
Yeah, Kopostrinski now has got Ashton tucked in alongside him at the moment as well. Ashton's going to try and make the move into Jackie Ickbot. He goes. Kopostrinski squeezing Ashton there. He's still going to be side by side on the exit. Kopostrinski's going to try and come over, take Ashton's nose off. He did. Ashton's now going to have to go on the inside again. Demanding room is Jack. He's got his elbows out at the moment. Look at him go. Is he going to go down into turn 1 along the inside? Kopostrinski, if he can hold it there, will have the inside for turn number 2. He can't. He's slow through 1. Is Ashton going to be able to get round it? He does. Ashton's got to set on a mission here, Olaf, as well. They've only got 11 minutes to go, and Ashton's still behind Pratt.
I think Pratt's done a good job there. He's done the send. He's gotten past Kopostrinski in a very, very nice way. Left Ashton with some work to do, as he got the slowdown after Kopostrinski had to slow down for Pratt. Ashton had to slow down as well. And this gives Pratt a little bit of a wiggle room, where Ashton is not in the slipstream, so can't really help to gain towards him. But he does have Kopostrinski and Taylor right behind him, who might be able to send something back if he does not gain that time. And once he's there, at Pratt's doorstep, Pratt will be with Britton and might be able to do something either way. And then Pratt will hold 3rd, Ashton will hold 4th. So Pratt's job now is get past Britton before Ashton gets past him, and then all will be well.
Okay, well, that's the philosophy. Anyway, well, not my weekend, says Mountain in YouTube chat. That'd be great, but tell us who you are. That would be absolutely amazing. You're either Garrett Kinney or Timmy Wybrow on that one. But if you can let us know, that would be amazing, so we can actually put a name to the driver, because obviously YouTube not have names on that one. Pratt now tucked in behind Britton. Is Pratt going to send it into 1? He is. Can he get the car stopped? Yes. Britton's going to try and run him around the outside. He's going to have the inside going into turn 2 here. Pratt's just losing time to Ashton. Look how quickly Ashton closed up onto the back of him. Pratt's going to try and take the inside line again. He's not being given room here for Hayden Britton. Britton's putting up a fight in this one, and he ain't allowing him through.
Now, I think this is where Pratt needed to be decisive and needed to absolutely send it as hard as he could whenever he knew he could get the overtake. But he was hesitant. He didn't get it done, and now Ashton is at his rear, and this is going into the chicane.
Pratt can't get through. Casey Collier's in pit lane. Why is Casey Collier in pit lane?
Maybe he's got a drive-through penalty or some sort, but he should be able to still have the championship with this. That's Pratt.
Oh,
very good send, but that was a little bit less room than Britton would have wanted.
Britton had no room. The problem for Britton now is he's got to slow down on the back end of that from Andy Pratt. Pratt sent him over the chicane. I don't think Britton had much of a choice there. Joshy Taylor's going to try and go up the inside as Kopostrinski. No, this time Jan Jančic's got to slow down. That's going to put him further back from Nick Green. But at the moment there, Taylor is all over the back end of Kopostrinski in the background. And unfortunately for Pratt, Ashton cleared Britton quite quickly. But that was due to the fact that Pratt did give Britton a slowdown. And unfortunately for Britton, he had to take it off. And that's allowed Ashton get onto the back of Pratt now as well. They're in 4th place at the moment. Ashton's on for 40 points from the 45 he got in race number 1. That's 85. I think he needs one more point, if I'm not mistaken, Olaf.
At this point in time, he does get those 40 points, 85 in total, which means he would be on equal points with Calvin Leideckers. So that would mean that we have I think a tiebreaker in place before we get to know what's happening here. This is Collier. That's not good steering. He might have had an incident somewhere along the line. Good job of getting it back to the pits, but that does not look like a good steering wheel.
I wonder if it was after this. This is where he checked up.
It looks fine here. No, he would not have gone on for that long. No, it looks fine here. Because that was a couple of laps ago, right? That's when
that's when they checked up on him.
Yeah, he wouldn't have had. Oh well, we know what happens there then. But he wouldn't be driving 3 more laps with that broken suspension. I think he would have gone in earlier. So that might have been an incident somewhere halfway through where he's just tapped the wall a tiny bit, or like you said, just had a very, very big jump over the chicane in the second sector.
I think the chicane may have played a part in that one. Taylor and Kobastrinsky running side by side. Look at this. These two guys going at it. Absolutely hammer and hammer now here down into turn number 1. And Kobastrinsky demands the inside line again. Taylor wants room. Taylor can't get room. Kobastrinsky's just giving him the biggest nose job ever, harder than Kim Kardashian's ever had. And now Taylor's going to have to try and go once more. But Kobastrinsky, he was a bit feisty coming out of one, shutting and cutting him off like that.
I don't think I can say that that's good fighting. That's going to the absolute limit of what you're allowed to do as a racing driver. And I think a little bit further up the road, they're taking notes from Pratt and Ashton, who will be doing the same. A few tenths separated, as Pratt might have just got the chicane there. And Ashton's in trouble.
Yeah, Pratt has just basically given himself a slowdown. Ashton's gone off. Oh, here we go. What happened here? Oh, wow. I'm not entirely sure how to decipher that one, to be blatantly honest. It looked a little bit. Let's see if we can get above on the chopper.
This looked like not enough space, having contact, pushing one or the other off, and then... Oh, that's just loss of control for Ashton as he went over the first curb. He goes up to the air con steer and sends it into the side of... Oh,
he's got a meeple. Oh, he's got a meeple.
He has to go in. He is going in. And that's over. That looks to be the championship over for Ashton. He has to go in. He has to get those repairs done. And by the time he gets out, it's going to be minutes before he reaches Andy Pratt again for that 3rd place. I think it's over here for Ashton.
Yeah, he's not going to get in. There's no way he's going to go right away from where he is at the moment to Andy Pratt, who is sitting coming into turn number 3. It's going to be done and dusted, I think, for Ashton. He might hold on away from Eric Orchin. I think Orchin, saying that, maybe. Ashton's got to take a little bit of a tighter line coming out of pit lane. I don't think he's going to do it now. I think this could be game over for Jack Ashton at the moment. And that is just watching the championship fall apart. Orchin's going to go through. And unfortunately for Ashton, he is down in 12th place, 40-odd seconds away from the lead. Where is he from Andy Pratt in conjunction with that? About 33 seconds back, Olaf. That's got to be it, isn't it?
Yeah, I think there's nothing he can do at this point. He had the meatball. He had an issue. I don't think that was on Pratt. I think Pratt gave him as much space as he could. I think Ashton just made a mistake going into the chicane, the left-hander, the first corner, just too much curb, going all the way over, and that's just unlucky, and I want to say a mistake, because you know the chicane, you know how far you can go over, and he just went a tiny bit too far, and it is championship over. That means that Calvin Leideckers will be the champion in the pros.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Who's going to win the race? Is it going to be Jan Janczyk? Is it going to be Nick Green? Well, we've got 4.5 minutes to decipher this one. And at the moment, Janczyk is putting Green under all sorts of pressure. If I'm not mistaken, won't this be Green's first win of the season?
I will have to check that for you, so I'll be right back with the numbers.
I think it might be. As he goes into Klein's out the other side, he's going to give Janczyk the opportunity to take the inside line for Villeneuve if he's not careful. Down the hill they go. Now he's going to try and tuck in. Is he Janczyk? Nope, he stays in behind him. Gives Green all the time in the world to take his line he wants. Out of Villeneuve they go through the right-hander, now down into the second to last or third to last corner here. Jan Jančić and Nick Green. This is the battle for the lead. Kopostarinsky and Taylor. Taylor's now got a slowdown. Bert's in pit lane. Oh, Jesus Christ. There's drama all the way down the back end at the moment here. Currently with Jente Bert, Kopostarinsky and Taylor. Oh, Western up in the air. Oh, they're going to crash on the straight. They are.
I think this is what we mentioned earlier on that you did not want to happen, and that is collisions on a straight. And this is one of those examples where you just don't want to have that contact. I've run the numbers, and the thing that has happened is that Nick Green has got, I believe, a third place at some point. But those appear to be all in class. He has got a third place on starting position, just not on finishing position, and that was in Mexico. So to reiterate, no, Nick Green has not stood on the podium of all time or of overall yet. That means that this, even if he does get second place, that's still going to be a first for Nick Green.
Right, well, there you go. Nick's on for his highest finishing position here. Everybody give Nick a little bit of props in YouTube chat. He's done well after his lap one, race one spin, of course. But he's got Jančić tucked in right behind him at the moment. I can guarantee the Novice Racer, if we speak to him after, he'll probably be sweating absolute buckets going down. Jente Bert's got a meatball's got to go into pit lane after that incident that we saw earlier on. It should be 1 and 1 more here. I bet Green is wishing it probably wasn't 1 and 1 more, but he is, by the looks of it, going to have to go 1 and 1 more with Jan Jančić putting him under all sorts of pressure here. Nick Green's holding on. Could he get his first win overall, Olaf, and his first win in class?
It's very possible. Jančić's quick, but we've seen him make mistakes into the hairpin a couple of times before. That might just be the points where he's going to send it again as he touches a little bit of gravel on the exit of turn 1. So he might just look at his opportunities. I think the hairpins is where I can send it the hardest. That's where I'm going to try. The problem is that the threshold for trying for Jančić is a little bit low, so he's going to send it whenever he can, most likely, and that will be a little bit more difficult than if you have the pace and to go all the way past. So it's going to be a 50-50 whether it's going to be Jančić going through, or it's going to be a crash, or it's just going to be a missed opportunity and Nick Green taking the victory. But all of the opportunities are there.
It's really weird, actually, when you look at these two at the front, because both of them can make mistakes very easily. So you wouldn't sit here and say, oh, Green's got this wrapped up with 1 more to go. No, because Green made a mistake straight into Klein. Jančić, well, we know, can make mistakes easily as well. So this isn't going to be wrapped up until they go round this corner again on the next, well, saying that, probably the very last chicane, because Green could probably spin it up coming out the last one on the last lap.
I think that is very, I wouldn't say characteristic for Green, but he has had his moments in this season at least, where he's just had these, like in race 1, a nice little spinneroo at the first lap. I had to find something. I had to. The thing is, though, right? It would be very, very poetic for Green to spin on lap 1 of race 1, and then spin on the final lap on the second race. It would be poetic. It would be very, very bad for him. But Jančić is very, very close now. He might. I'm not gonna wish for it, but it might happen in the chicane.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, through the right-hander of turn 4. For the final time, it's Green, it's Jančić. Both men can make mistakes just by blinking their eyes here. Let's see how this one goes. Green, lap 1, race 1, made a mistake. Just made a mistake on the last lap of race number 2. Jančić's going to run alongside him. Green's going to cut his nose off. It's going to be drama going into the hairpin here as well, into the Villeneuve. Jančić can't get through. Green gives him room. Now he's got to get his elbows out. This is a run. Oh, Jančić's made a mistake. Is that it? Is that it, Olaf? Is he too far back now?
I don't think it is. There is still chance. Like you said, Nick Green can still spin out of the final corner. It can still happen. This is a bit too far away for Jančić to look. He was going to look for it. He braked very, very late there, trying to see if there was an opportunity or not. And now it appears to be over if Nick Green can hit his apexes. But holy, that run through the chicane was legendary for Janchik. Follow him through in the first one, turn in early for the next one. Assume that Green is going to go all the way towards the outside, use every single bit of the track. And Janchik now getting a slowdown on these final few corners.
Yeah.
Nick Green, the absolute legend that he is, takes the victory.
Yeah, it takes a win there. Nick gets his highest finishing position and his first win overall. Nick Green, you superstar. Over the line he goes there as well. Hayden Britton takes the win in the AMS ahead of Kopa-Starinsky. Andy Pratt rips up the pros, but there are only two of them. That should, however, still give Case and Collier the championship in the AMS, Olaf, if I'm not mistaken.
Doing the math real quick, he is currently at 274. He finished in race 1 quite a bit of points.
He was in second.
Ahead of the rest. I think that's it. He needed to lose by about 26 points. And I don't think that's even possible here with these amount of drivers here. He just needed to show up and needed to win, or needed to get as many points as he can, and that's exactly what he's done. Yeah,
Enquiries does finish ahead of him in race number 2. We will wait for the official standings, but we do think that is it. As Casey goes and puts it into the wall as well. A lot of people doing that here in the end of the race. Why not have some fun with it? That's what this game is all about here. Don't shoot me. It is a game. Listen, start that debate another time. Nick Green takes the win overall and in class his first ever win here for class and overall. Go Nick Green, you superstar. Yeah,
we got to get him in for the interviews, James. We've got to get him in.
I will. I'll pull him in very, very shortly. Janchik in second place. Andy Pratt takes the win in the pros. There was only two of them. Hayden Britton wraps up a double win in the AMS. Roman Kopa-Starinsky gets that second place. Joshie Taylor rounds out the podium for the Pro-Ams. Metacost ahead of Western. I think that's pretty much Metacost's championship. Enquist wraps up the podium for the AMS. Ashton down in 10th. Then Orchin, Case and Collier, sorry. Got it right. Martin Hayward, Timmy Wybrow, Yente Burt and Garrett Kinney. Kinney not finishing the race at all. But let's bring in... No, I can't bring in Green. He's not here.
He's on the victory, but he's not even here to celebrate it. That is something.
He's not in the chat. Oh, right.
We can at least ask Jack in, right? Ashton can join us for a second.
Let's start with what we believe is the champion. Mr. Case and Collier here joined us. The young lad has taken the victory. We believe in the championship. Case, welcome in, bud. How are you?
Good.
Good.
How are you?
Hey, I'm all right. We think you've wrapped up the championship in the AMS there, fella. I think we were just too far ahead to worry about it here as well. Dude, listen, champion... You know, apparently 7 hours ago you took 10th place in the 4 hours of Nürburgring. Why are you still awake? I do not know. But listen, great season from you overall.
Yeah. What were you going to say?
No, you carry on, mate. Sorry, there's a delay.
Yeah, that was a good season. Just stayed out of trouble till this last race, where I had some damage and had to pit.
Yeah, we did see that, mate, as well. You just had to kind of keep it on the track, score as many points as you can here as well. Listen, I'm interested to touch on something as well. You've won the karting championship 2 years in a row. What's your next step in IRL racing?
Just to keep doing that. Mainly just focus on sim at the moment.
Okay, mate. Well, I'll be interested to see how you get on IRL racing as well. Listen, dude, well done. Champion for you. Anybody you want to shout out before we let you go?
Flat Branch, Home Loans, and Apex Filtration, and River Valley Fitness.
Okay. And your strength and conditioning coach who's been in YouTube chat every single time you've raced?
Yeah.
Him as well. Right, Kaysen, thanks so much, buddy.
Yeah.
Catch up with you soon, mate.
All right, see ya.
Oh, that delay does take an effect here in Discord as well. But let's have a little chat with Mr. Jack Ashton, who we believe has actually missed out on the championship. Jack, welcome in, bud. How are you?
Hello, sir. How are we?
Oh, sir. Loving you already, Jack. Thank you very much. Listen, dude, you had one mission for this race. Let's touch on the race first before we review the championship. One mission. You had to get 45 in race number 1 and at least 41 in race number 2. You didn't get it, and the championship goes to Calvin Lydeckers.
Well, I think it'd be a bit rude for me to win my own championship, really, wouldn't it? So I think we'll let Calvin have that one. I just having some good fun out here on this track. It was really good fun. I really didn't know what I needed to do for the championship, and if anything, it would be nice for not me to win my own championship, if I'm honest. So I'm actually quite happy that this has happened.
Oh, so you put it into the wall on purpose then?
Oh, not at all. No, I was trying my hardest, and
Jack, I was trying to.
I think it's my own mistake, to be honest with you.
I think you went in deep, mate. You and Andy Pratt. Pratt did leave you a bucket load of room, but unfortunately there was contact anyway. Listen, sir, going forward, where's the championship? Obviously, we've got the fun race next Sunday that both me and Olaf are on. We probably might as well just commentate with our eyes closed because no damage and everything's going to go absolutely Pete Tong. But what's the plans for the championship after that?
I mean, I think our plans really are definitely sticking with the Porsche Cup. We've had a good response with this car, and I think a lot of people have enjoyed it, and it is really good fun to drive. Keeps that one make series a bit more easier to keep control of as well. So I think the car aspect is definitely going to stay, and just introduce some new tracks and hopefully some new faces and see how it goes. Really, we're not too pressurized. Obviously, this next season will be going into when I'm leading into real life racing, so I think it's going to be a little bit trickier for me to be around, but I think we'll see what the community can come up with, and we'll work out a plan of a new season, and I'm sure we'll have some good fun.
Aren't we doing a Spec Racer Ford?
I think we'll have a very lack of attendance with that car.
Oh man, there you go, Jack. Anyone you want to shout out, bud, before we let you go?
I think just a massive shout out to the whole community that we have here. I think everyone's having good fun. Obviously, we are having little moments and things throughout the races, but I think we mostly get it all resolved and understand what needs to change and try and fix it and move from there. And that's what this league's all about. So I think a big shout out to the whole community involved and yourself for the broadcast. I think everyone's enjoyed it, and can't thank you enough.
Awesome job, Jack. Catch up with you soon, bud.
Cheers, mate. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Right, we haven't got Nick Green. Apparently it's past midnight and he's going to bed, which sucks. But
I just asked him if he has a few words for the broadcast,
and
he said yes. So we should be able to drag him in somewhere. He's in the chilling voice chat a little bit further up. You should be able to drag him down.
Why can't you just come?
Can
on?
I can.
Oh, okay.
There he is. There's Nick Green. Welcome,
Nick. First win of the season. First win in class, son. Look at you saving it to the last round.
I know, I saved everything for the very end. It was my last chance to get something actually worth showing.
Well, you definitely did do that, mate, as well. You do have to give Reese a bit of a kick, though, because he did predict you would spin in race number 1, and it didn't take you very long to do that, did it?
No, my head was steaming after that, but luckily, it took some time just to watch the other guys, and then came back for a bit of a comeback at the end. But I was just chatting to Reese then as well, and he often predicts me to spin pretty quickly, so don't worry about it anymore.
That's fair enough, dude, as well. Listen, so going forward for you, what's the ambitions? Obviously, if we're going to come back with a one-car series next season, what's the ambitions for that?
Oh, well, I'd like to. I mean, I won't be in the pro class next season, but that's the goal. So whatever happens between next season, I'm pretty sure I'll still be in the pro-am class. So I'd like to get some more podiums, more wins in class, and then hopefully after that we'll move up into the pro class eventually.
All right, bud. Well, looking forward to seeing how you get on, Nick. Anyone you want to shout out before we let you go?
No, but I'd love to thank Jack for doing the main part of hosting this league. Again, he's doing the race review right now, and that's why we all sign up. So, for his knowledge and expertise, and thank you guys as well for doing the broadcast, which I look forward to watching tomorrow.
All right, man. Well, take care, Nick. Get yourself to bed, buddy, and we'll catch up with you soon.
Will do. Thanks, lads.
No worries, man. There you go. That was a quick word with Nick Green. He took his first win and his first overall class win of the season. Great job from Nick there as well. Olaf, a few words from you before we wrap this up for the final time.
I mean, it's not going to be the final time, is it? We
No,
have
no, we got the
next
yes.
next race. That's next week. We have our fun race coming up. Is the track announced yet? Is it? It is. Yeah, we have the cross car at Wild West Motorsport Park, and it's for those that don't know yet, this is going to be absolutely crazy. So, do you want to do the description, or should I give a little rundown?
Well, yeah, go for it. See how you get on. It's going to be very interesting indeed.
All right. So here it is. This is what is going to happen next week. We have Team Nick and Team Jack. So Jack Ashton, the man that we spoke with just before, and then Nick Green, who got his first win today. They're going to both be in a team. They have the VW Jetta, and they have an entire team behind them in cross cars, trying to do the best they can to make sure that their team's driver, this can be either Nick or Jack, reaches the finish line first. There's no rules. There's no damage. It will be all sabotage. So only Nick and Jack will be fighting for a lead for the race. Everyone else will be crashing, carnaging, and making sure that the other team does not sabotage their drivers. This, I think, is going to be great. It's a 1 hour practice, no qualifying, 15-minute race onto a 20-minute race. And it's going to be absolutely crazy.
So basically, the way we can look at it, it's a game of chess. The pawns are the drivers, and the king is Jack and Nick, and they've got to try and protect their king, should we say? Let's just put it in an easy way.
I don't think I've seen a chessboard with 1 king and 20 pawns, but it's going to be very, very, very fun.
Absolutely. Well, join us next week, guys. Same time for that one. And that's going to wrap it up for the normal season here as well. I've been JP. I've been joined pretty much most of the season from Olaf here as well. And as always, take care. Have a great week. And you never know, might see you on the track for next week's carnage. Have a good one.